Hey everyone, I'm Daniel. A week ago I began making my new game project, untitled for now. But what exactly is it? In this video I will tell you what I'm working on, what I've already did, future plans for the project, and most importantly, why I can finish this game and what I'm doing different than in the development of my latest project, what I cancelled. The game is a shoot 'em up roguelite mix. That means the movement and abilities are the classic shoot 'em up ones, but I added dashing and picking up and using spells. Spells are special actions like a massive power dash or freezing the camera scrolling for a few seconds. And the roguelite aspects are that the areas are randomly generated. The game has a ton of different enemies and items, aka spells, and it's challenging like every good roguelike or roguelite. Of course, I've already did something. I mostly did the main mechanics and systems for the game, including the play controller, picking up and using spells, enemies, have scripts for the player and enemies, screen scrolling, and the random level generation. The generation works like this. I will design chunks, which are little parts of the level, and then these will be placed in a random order. But the things in the chunk and which chunks will be placed is random too. I also did a bit of art. The colors are vibrant, but most things in the foreground are dark and mysterious. I decided on the silhouette-like style, not only because it looks nice and stylish, but also because this way I can create enemies and other things faster. I'm also using this brush again and similar ones to give my art a bit more texture. Then another thing I added are trails. I discovered the coolness of trails while I made my game Smasher 2 weeks ago. And I really have to say that this is something my games before are missing. But back to some really important elements of the game. The enemies. I've did so far 4 different enemy types, including a spike creature. It doesn't move or anything else, it's simply there. Then I made a bat monster. It follows the player when it's near enough. I made an enemy called the Dark Storyteller, which faces towards you and shoots projectiles, aka evil stories, at the player position. And last but not least, I added a turret thing. It stands still but shoots projectiles into 4 directions. Now let's get to something that can kill the enemies or makes the player stronger. In short, spells. I mentioned them already in the video, and now I want to talk a bit about what spells are already in the game. So I've made a heal spell that heals the player. Logic. Then there is the power projectile spell. With it you shoot a big and massive projectile forwards. Another one is the shield spell. It simply casts a shield around the player for a few seconds. The power dash spell lets you do a massive power dash that hurts enemies, and it makes you undamageable till the dash ends. And lastly, I added the scroll freeze spell. It freezes the camera movement for a few seconds. It's great for killing more enemies because you have a bit more time. And why killing more enemies is good, why does it make any change? Let me introduce you to the score. I added it, it's there, it's working, but I don't go into detail how I made it. It's very easy. Maybe I will reward the player if he or she gets a score of whatever value I will decide on, but this is in far future. Also, I want to let you know that I added controller support for the game. After trying a ton of things with Unity's old built-in input system, I searched in the huge libraries of the interwebs in short Google, and I found Rewired. A great solution for keyboard and controller support, and it helps with local multiplayer games, but this is a single player experience anyway. Rewired is easy to use, I have enough money for it, it works perfectly awesome. Then I added the FPS, or in other words, frames per second display, so I can see if there are any issues with different FPS values. Overall, my tasks for making this game is creating enemies, creating spells, designing chunks, creating bosses and polish the game. And especially polishing will be my topic in the next weeks or days. This will give the game a complete different feel, and the actions did by the player give you some visual feedback, which is very, very important in video games. Also, I want to make the controller input more comfortable, because it's sometimes tricky to control with a controller. Four weeks ago I cancelled my main project, which was called Once Upon a Nightmare. Link to the video in the description. And now I'm working on another bigger project. But what I'm doing different now with this project? Probably you've heard about Jonas Tarroller, who is creating Will You Snail, a precision platformer about an evil AI named Squid that tries to kill you. He uses a really good strategy to finish his game. He always keeps his game at a finished state, so he could cancel the project, but he has a finished game anyway that he can release on Steam then. That will be something I will also do to finish my game. I really like the strategy. With all that said, join our Discord community. There I will also show you more backstage views of the development of this game, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future devlogs of this little journey creating the game. Cheers!